We had an injury scare at last night's Raw taping, plus another WWE star's contract is expiring, and in a Cultaholic exclusive, we have some scrapped NXT plans to tell you about. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling news right now. Scary moments before Raw went on the air last night. They were taping a match for WWE Speed between Whackin' Wild and Lexis King, and it didn't go according to plan, did it, Adam?
Not at all. The match coming to a full stop after Wild was knocked out cold. Medics come into the ring checking on him. We do fortunately have an update from Whackin' Wild.
Yeah, he says, never been knocked out cold before, so a lot to process right now, but I'm good. No worries. Scary moment. In terms of how that match will be aired, obviously it's WWE Speed, so those matches are kind of taped in those short little 3 or 5 minute bursts, depending on if it's a title match. I don't know when they'll have time to tape another one. Maybe we'll just get that on Twitter on Wednesday.
I can't see Twitter airing it because these are basically, they're just sponsored matches, aren't they? And I don't think X will want to air something where somebody gets knocked out cold, especially given the target audience of those, and they want to appeal to younger people as well. They don't want to just see somebody get knocked out. So I don't expect it to air. I mean, the sensible thing to do, considering they are only 3 or 5 minute matches, is record a few extra ones in preceding weeks, just so you've got something in the can that you could stick out as and when, because nobody cares, do you? Come on. No, just stick something, just a couple of cruiserweights going at it that you can just, like, if something goes wrong, plot that one in. I don't know, maybe they've done that. No idea.
And if they haven't, maybe we'll see like a speed match taped at NXT tonight.
That's a good shout.
They could do that tonight as well. But we'll obviously... all the best to Whackin' Wild. Glad that it was only an injury scare and not an injury. Now, we've had some heartbreaking announcements regarding WWE stars departing the company over the last few days. Carlito is heading out of the Judgment Day, and the other greatest member of the Judgment Day of all time, R-Truth, also leaving the company when his contract expires. Another name to add to that list today.
Absolutely. Valhalla announcing yesterday that she is not going to have her contract renewed by WWE as being allowed to expire. She's, of course, the manager of the War Raiders, barely on TV at all. She went away for a while. It was maternity leave, wasn't it? She went away for a bit. It's a weird one. It's another one where it's somebody who was released and then brought back and now has been, I don't want to say released, but is departing the company again. One thing that I will say about this is I do think it's a lot more palatable to just let the wrestlers' contracts expire. I hope this means that we get fewer days where it's like, oh, X number of WWE superstars have been released and everybody's just like, they're on the phone and they just get like sacked.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot easier because I guess any wrestler should be preparing for the worst when that contract is coming up for expiration, because you know that's the agreed legal deal that the company have with that performer, and so you should always be preparing in case your contract doesn't expire. I would say that this is a fairly unsurprising WWE departure. Wish her all the best and everything, but I just don't feel like anybody's safe anymore. If R-Truth isn't safe, I saw something and I don't know how seriously to take it, but after Gunther removed all mentions of WWE from his social media pages, it was just like tweets about his wife on there. The Miz did the same this week as well. And previously, The Miz to me is like, he's a WWE lifer. He is not going anywhere, no chance. But I felt the same way about R-Truth. And I don't know anymore. I don't know if the thinking is as they get older and older, the company has less use for them, and Miz is going to be on a substantial 7-figure contract for sure. I don't want to speculate about Miz going because I hope it doesn't happen. And I hope he's really happy there and everything. But I don't think it would surprise me as much now.
I think R-Truth has kind of opened the floodgates on the...
Bastard. How dare
he? How dare he do that? He's opened the floodgates on this idea that, as you say, nobody's really safe anymore. There's no contracts. There's no for-lifers in WWE anymore. And that's something we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on. Sarah Logan revealing the news, of course, on Instagram. Upset, but making a clean break from wrestling. She does... They live on a farm. She's got 2 kids as well. Eric's still on tour as part of the Viking Raiders. I don't see her returning to wrestling. Maybe she'll go and do something else. maybe in the world of self-sufficient farming, maybe do something, maybe in TV if she wants to pursue that. But I don't think we see her wrestle again.
No, not necessarily. She said as part of her statement, she was going to, paraphrasing here, but she's going to focus on being Sarah, which is somebody that she has grown to like. So it looks like maybe she is stepping away from the ring.
Nicely done. So Money in the Bank coming up this weekend. The final entrance for both the men's and the women's Money in the Bank ladder matches were determined last night on Raw.
We saw that triple threat for the final spot in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match as AJ Styles took on CM Punk, took on El Grande Americano, and the winner, and I think to the shock of not that many actually, El Grande Americano is in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Meanwhile, on the women's side, Stephanie Vaquer defeating Liv Morgan and Ivy Nile to earn the final spot in that women's match, as I say. So we now know our match card. I think in full. I don't think they're adding anything else to this. I think we're getting a 4-match card. Potentially something on SmackDown, but those Money in the Bank matches tend to go a fair amount of time, so it could just be a 4-match card. But yeah, the men's Money in the Bank lineup is as follows.
Seth Rollins, Penta, El Grande Americano, Andrade, LA Knight, and Solo Sikoa.
Women's Money in the Bank, Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vaquer, Roxanne Perez, Naomi, Julia, and Alexa Bliss.
The women's Intercontinental title on the line. Lyra Valkyria defending against Becky Lynch. If Becky loses, she can never challenge again for the women's IC title. If Becky wins, Lyra has to raise her hand in victory.
It's happening, isn't it? And finally, John Cena and Logan Paul teaming up to take on Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. Let's talk about the Money, but I've got to make predictions later this week, mate.
Okay then.
What are you thinking? I want to hear your big thoughts.
Right. So for the women's Money in the Bank, I reckon you have the opportunity to catapult Stephanie Vaquer.
You're going
Stephanie Vaquer immediately. I think Stephanie Vaquer wins it.
Okay.
And I think you get straight to Steph versus EO. And I think you have Steph call her shot rather than surprise anybody.
Okay.
So either that or Perez. I feel like Perez, as like slimy heel, would be somebody that could take full advantage of a cheeky roll up out of nowhere to become the women's world champion.
It's interesting that
one of those two.
You've gone for 2 NXT call-ups. It's cool that half of that match is made up by recent NXT call-ups on the women's side of things. I was going towards, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I'm thinking Naomi now.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think she's on fire right now. I think she's such an amazing heel. I think Naomi with that belt could be, not with that belt, well, hopefully with that belt eventually.
With that belt.
With the briefcase could be really fun. What about the men's?
Right. Based on the fact that we had this report last week that Triple H says he hates Money in the Bank.
I know where you're going with this already, right?
And he wants to get shot of it fairly quick, right? Uh-huh. I reckon El Grande Americano, and he cashes it in on Vikingo.
What, you think it's not even done for a main roster title?
Yep.
Okay.
I think he cashes it in on Vikingo.
You reckon?
I reckon.
It could happen. It's coming up, isn't it?
Yeah. Is Worlds Collide on the Sunday?
No, because it's double duty for Stephanie, isn't it? She's doing 2 matches that day. So
that day. So it's one of them where I think the opportunity there is to put the AAA title on Grande Americano. That feels like a bit of a shoothousery WWE thing to do.
Yeah, good PR. They need that right now.
They certainly do. I don't think they care about good PR.
No, I don't think they do either. I think you could possibly be onto something, but I hope and pray that you are wrong. I think I'm going to go Seth. To cash in on Jey.
Yeah, take the belt off Jey.
I think that's where we're going. But yeah, as you say, they can cash in on any title. They haven't formally said that, I don't think, this year. But previously, obviously, we've seen mid-card title get cashed in on. We'll see.
We will see. Now, a Cultaholic exclusive on the Cultaholic Wrestling News podcast feed today. First interview since departing Chase U and WWE. I had a chat with Riley Osborne, formerly known as Turbo Josh Terry. He is chatting exclusively to me today on the news podcast feed. We talk about a whole bunch of stuff. His time in WWE, his journey from NXT UK to NXT in the States, and he reveals some rather cool scrapped plans for his American call-up.
Yeah, there was a pitch made that would have seen Riley Osborne debut as a comic book-style supervillain and become embroiled in a rivalry with Axiom. He said, I remember talking to Sean after one of the TV tapings at the PC, and he was like, we can see this going one of two ways. Either you and Axiom, I would be his villainous arch rival, or the foreign exchange student of Chase U. It turned out to be the Chase U one, which I was grateful for. They're on TV all the time. I got a cool shirt. Cool.
Yeah.
That's his word.
Those are his exact words. I asked to sort of elaborate a little bit more on the comic book villain, the arch rival to Axiom. He makes a lot of comparisons to sort of like the Green Goblin. He wanted like a Green Goblin type get up to face Axiom in there. Potentially might have been him flying in on a little jet. That would have been rather fun. But cool. That is also why, so when they go through to NXT and they're told to the NXT names are a combination of a list of first names they like and a list of surnames they like. So Riley was a name that he'd really liked, and Osborne was one he liked because he's a comic book geek himself, and Osborne is a name that's connected to the Green Goblin.
Oh, okay. So there is a sort of, it's not a random name generator. Do they get to, is there like two tombolas and they pick a first and a last, or do you get to go?
The creative teams just look and go, oh, what do we think works best? No. But Josh was telling me like he really wanted to be called Riley Osborne, so he made sure Riley was in big letters and Osborne was in big letters. Nice. So they went, oh, that works. So that's where, and so then he was told, oh, by the way, you're going to be Riley Osborne.
You talk about going one of two ways, by the way. Either that could have absolutely flopped, which I'm 99% sure it probably would have done. Although, I don't know, NXT audience, they like stuff like that. Or, like, it could have been super successful. You think back to Hurricane, right?
Yeah.
Like the Hurricane is a gimmick that shouldn't have worked really, but it was a truly beloved gimmick, and maybe you could have made that work. That could have been fun.
In ring, it would have worked because Josh told me like they had 2 matches on NXT Level Up where they could kind of get a feel for what they would do together. This is before they gave the gimmicks. They gave him the Chase U gimmick. They had a match on NXT Level Up, and they liked what they did together. It could have been. I think even with those gimmicks, whether they would have been a bit cringe or a bit cheesy or whatever, I think in ring they would have made it shine.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
that'd have been the thing. It's a really good chat. We chat about the entire WWE thing. We talk about those comments made about the reason for his release that he responded to. Yeah. Dave Meltzer made some quite pointed comments about why he got released. So we speak to Josh and get his thoughts on that. But the big important thing is we want to get Josh Terry to turn on the Christmas lights in his hometown of Egremont in Cumbria. So if anyone is listening from the Cumbrian Council, we'd love to make that happen. Seriously,
big shout out to all of you guys at the Cumbrian Council. Big shout to Cumbria.
Hey, there'll be. Hey, look, he's WWE's first ever Cumbrian signing, so we want to get him doing the Christmas light switch on this.
What an honour!
I've got connections at BBC Radio Cumbria. We can make that happen, Josh. Listen to the whole thing now. It's waiting for you on the news podcast feed, and for the very latest wrestling news at any time, you can check out Cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.